Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the managing director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. I've been an immigration attorney for 16 years, and I'm kind of an atypical immigration attorney because I work out here in Thailand and I deal with the embassy from time to time, dealing with what's called consular processing. In a way, I kind of deal with the system backwards, if you will. Like most immigration lawyers are dealing with USCIS and things in the States on a regular basis. We deal with them as well. But again, I'm physically present out here with all that goes along with that. Meanwhile, also, I have just, especially in this last year, it's sort of like the scales have come off of my eyes, if you will. It's not so much that, it's the facts have really changed on the ground. Where at one time, it was kind of a joke when people would say, well, instead of going through this process of getting my fiance in the United States, I'll just fly her into Mexico and walk her across the border. Well, that was kind of a joke at one time, and it actually sometimes kind of annoyed me when people would say that. Now it's like, yeah, I get it, with footage all the time of just tons and tons of people just walking through. I kind of see where people say some stuff like that. That said, again, I do believe in immigration, but I believe in immigration, which is a very different thing from illegal immigration. And it's tough to argue with the notion that, we're not at an an invasion point at this point too. Leaving all of that aside, I'm not going to get too deep into that, but I thought of making this video after reading a recent article from Zero Hedge, zerohedge.com. Article is titled, "The Great Replacement Loophole. Illegal immigrants score 5-year work benefit while, quote, waiting, unquote, for deportation and asylum." Quoting directly, but Tyler, and that's sort of the moderator of Zero Hedge, "Illegal immigrants can't possibly work in the United States whilst awaiting their asylum hearings," one might hear from the peanut gallery. On the contrary, ever since Biden reversed a key aspect of Trump's labor policies, all illegal immigrants, even those awaiting deportation proceedings, have been given carte blanche to work while awaiting said proceedings for up to 5 years. And it takes you to the USCIS.gov website. Some EADs, that's employment authorization documentation, can be valid for up to 5 years. USCIS increased the maximum validity period to 5 years for initial and renewal employment authorization documents, EADs, issued to the following categories: refugees, non-citizens, paroled as refugees, asylees, recipients of withholding of removal, applicants for asylum or withholding of removal, so that's applicants for people who are trying not to be deported, applicants for adjustment of status, and applicants for suspension of deportation or cancellation of removal. So that's somebody who's already been ordered to be removed, and that's either been suspended or they're seeking to have it canceled. This undated policy guidance applies to any Form I-765 application for employment authorization currently pending or filed on or after September 27th, 2023. Yeah, I don't even understand the underlying policy reasoning behind this. If somebody's subject to deportation, why grant them employment authorization? Why not just deport them? That would be my first question. Now, I do understand that there are situations where people are placed in deportation proceedings and it's not fair, or it's illegal and they shouldn't be deported. Yeah, okay, in the narrow subset of cases where that may exist, sure, I guess I can see allowing employment authorization documentation, but why not allow the immigration judges to deal with that on a case-by-case basis rather than making a broad-based policy that allows a bunch of people who didn't obey the law to begin with to be able to work in the United States? To my mind, it begs a lot of questions in my mind. I'm not going to get any further into it, but it does pertain to U.S. immigration. This does seem to be the current protocol as we're dealing with it for those in the United States. I find it highly disconcerting that this is the policy regarding a lot of these folks who are entering illegally. Meanwhile, folks out here in Asia, specifically here in Thailand and Southeast Asia, they're having to wait in lines that are months, if not years long, just to get into the country. That's before, for example, a K-1 visa applicant, they're not even work authorized coming in, and they've been waiting around for months, if not years, to get into the United States, and then they got to turn around and file for an employment authorization document once they're there. Again, it seems pretty patently unfair from my perspective.